everyone, I'm here today with my August reading review. What a mixed bag August was for me. So in the month of August, I didn't buy any physical books. I bought 3 Kindle books and I requested 17 NetGalley books. But I read 13 books, yet I was in a reading slump. Weird month. Weird month. So that means that I increased my TBR last month by just 7 books, which is some sort of weird miracle. I read 4 physical books, 5 Kindle books, 4 NetGalley books, and no audiobooks. So in the month of August, I was taking part in the Newt's readathon. I gave up on that quite early on in the month because I just wasn't really in the mood to read at all. And then I wasn't in the mood to read anything that I was meant to be reading, and it all just went out the window. But all the same, I have still got some feedback for you. So for charms, I managed to come out with acceptable because I managed to do the first challenge of read a book with magic in it. For history of magic, I also got an acceptable because I managed to read a book that would fit in at the Hogwarts library. For Muggle studies, I also got an acceptable because I read a book from a favourite author. For Care of Magical Creatures, I managed to get an outstanding because I read a book that has an animal on the cover, a book with less than 160 pages, and a book that includes dragons in some way. For Defence Against the Dark Arts, I got an acceptable because I read the last book in a series, and then I didn't attempt potions at all, and I didn't attempt astronomy at all, and they were the only subjects I was sitting, so not too terrible. It could have gone a lot worse. So on to the books that I actually read last month. So the first one, I'm going to go in order from least favourite to like favourites. I've not put my favourites in any particular order. Basically from 1 star to 5 stars I've gone. So this was such a weird month again because I have one 1-star read and then everything else was 4 or 5 stars. It was like nothing in between. Really bizarre. So the book that I gave 1 star to is Stories We Tell Ourselves by Sarah Françoise. This was a book that I received from the publishers via NetGalley, and I just really didn't like the writing style and I didn't like the writing, and I don't think I've really talked about it anywhere, and I don't want to turn this into some massive rant now, but I just thought that it was really poor. It was really dull. It did nothing to pull me in, nothing to interest me at all. I really struggled with it. I was tempted to DNF it, but because it was one of my reads for the Newt's readathon, I didn't, so I kept going, and I just really struggled. I don't think I'm alone in this because its average rating on Goodreads is 2.94 out of 35 ratings. 2 people have shelved it as did not finish, and I shelved it as struggled because in places I did skim because I just couldn't cope with it anymore. I'm just done with it at this point. So then on to one of my 4-star reads, which was Quidditch Through the Ages, which I really enjoyed. I thought this was fantastic. I also gave 4 stars to this Kenilworth Castle guidebook. I also gave 4 stars to Tell Me No Lies by A.V. Gager, which is the second and final book in the Follow Me Back series. And this is another one that I got from the publishers via NetGalley. And I will say that this didn't disappoint me, but at the same time was slightly sad that I didn't feel the need to give it 5 stars. I did enjoy this. It was a satisfying conclusion, but it wasn't 5 stars. But speaking of 5 stars, we are now moving on to the 5-star reads. Everything else was a 5-star read. That is just insane. So first of all, we have Caraval by Stephanie Garber. I also received this one for free from the publishers via NetGalley. And this one actually kept me awake all night. I literally read it all night in one sitting. It was that good. We also have this, which is the Making of Harry Potter, the official studio guide. This one's one of the older ones. There's some updated ones with like new things in there because they've added stuff since I went with this one. But yeah, highly enjoyed my read through that. We also have Am I Normal Yet by Holly Bourne. This is the first book in the Spinster Club series. I loved this, flew through it. I also gave 5 stars to Short Stories from Hogwarts of Heroism, Hardship and Dangerous Hobbies. along with short stories from Hogwarts of Power, Politics and Pesky Poltergeists, and along with Hogwarts, an incomplete and unreliable guide. I also gave 5 stars to Learn About Loss, which is a short story from the Ghosts of the Shadow Market series by Cassandra Clare. I also gave 5 stars to A Deeper Love, which is the 5th book in that series, again by Cassandra Clare. And I also reread a book last month, and that was Follow Me Back, which is the 1st book in the Follow Me Back series. So Tell Me No Lies that I mentioned earlier was the 2nd, and because I enjoyed Follow Me Back so much last year, I wanted to reread it before reading Tell Me No Lies, so everything was really fresh. I enjoyed that experience. I gave Follow Me Back 5 stars again this time too, so it's definitely a firm favourite if I've read it twice in a year and loved it both times. So that is everything that I read last month. I've not tracked my YouTube stats for last month because I just didn't get around to it, and now because of everything that I've done in terms of changing how I do things on my channel, I don't think I'm going to bother tracking the stats anymore. I'm not particularly using my notebook currently, because when I stopped keeping up with my schedule at the beginning of August, I was like, okay, no problem. I'll make a new one. But then obviously I didn't stick to that one either. So now I'm just kind of just working off the top of my head. So I do need to start a new way of planning my content that isn't how it was before. But yeah, I don't think that's going to include tracking YouTube stats, because I'm not always available to check it on the first day of the month, and then the stats aren't accurate, and then that really bothers me because I like geeking out over proper stats. I will leave links underneath the books in the description and also in the cards where applicable to reviews of any of the books I've mentioned in this video, so you can check those out if you want to. But I think that's me done for my August review. August, as I said, was a weird month, and it could have gone a lot worse, I feel, because I read a lot in the end. I might have been in a slump, but I still got a good amount done. And meanwhile, because I was in a slump, I didn't pick up an awful lot of new books, so that worked out really well for me. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe by clicking the image of me if you want to see more book reviews and other bookish content from me, and I will see you soon. Bye bye!